Hi guys, so I realized I haven't done a video in a couple weeks. I posted one yesterday from week 37, but that's been about 4 weeks ago, so I'm really sorry I haven't had a chance to update you guys on what's been going on, but it's been pretty hectic, and this is how I've been looking lately. It's pretty scary, but hopefully you guys can look past that. Um, I actually wanted to do an update video. Um, I actually had little Zoe, and I wanted to introduce you guys to her. She's actually sleeping in the swing right now, so I don't know how much footage I'll actually get, but I do have some pictures to share with you guys and tell you a little bit about labor and everything like that. Um, so yeah, she's sleeping. So if you hear some like little squeaky cat-like noises, that's her waking up. She's about due for a diaper and a bottle. So um, yeah, if that happens, I'll have to pause this and finish it later. But yeah, so I was due May 27th, but all along she had actually been measuring um, 3 days early. So on the 24th of May. Um, as far as like what the 3D, 4D ultrasounds were showing, um, and her measuring, she had always measured 3 days early. So my goal was to keep working as long as I possibly could. My maternity leave actually started on the 27th, so I wanted to get as close as I possibly could. So I don't know how long this video is gonna last, but I actually worked up until the day before I had her, which on the 23rd, which is a Thursday, I went to work. I worked the whole day. I felt pretty good. I'm just a little uncomfortable. Um, I had actually went to work, did some dancing with the kids, interacted with the kids, and then about 10, no, actually that morning I had my weekly doctor's appointment. So before all of that. So I went in, I had my cervix checked, and I actually wasn't really progressing any. I was still at about a 1, but I was 80 to 85% thinned out. Um, and that was actually 39 weeks and, let's see, 3 days um, on Thursday, the 23rd. Um, So they actually checked my cervix. I wasn't progressing, so they actually scheduled me to be induced for the following Friday, which was this past Friday, which was the 31st, I believe, if I hadn't had her by then. I was a little bit discouraged. I wasn't really getting my hopes up because I hadn't been progressing. Um, but I was kind of excited because there was an end date in sight. Um, of having her. So I went to work, like I said, played a little bit. Little did I know when I got to work, they actually scheduled a spa day for all the teachers. So I got to do the spa day, and it was just pretty much, if you've ever heard of beauty control, I think that's what it was. So I had like a neck wrap, they massage your hand, you do like a lip scrub, things like that. Um, it's kind of funny. I'm sitting in a chair relaxing and I'm thinking, what happens if my water breaks? Like, that would be so embarrassing because from the very beginning, I've actually feared of like my water breaking at work. Um, I actually got through that, but I was really, really relaxed like the rest of the day. I felt really, really good. Got through my day, got off at 5:30. I had actually not been able to drive that past week. I had been, like, my stomach had dropped so much. I was just really uncomfortable, not really comfortable with driving. So Josh had actually picked me up that day, and we decided we needed to go to Walmart and get some groceries. Um, so, like, I was still pretty uncomfortable as far as, like, walking and stuff. I was having a lot of lower back pain. Um, so we went to Walmart. I actually pushed the cart, and I was having a lot of back pain, like, it was hurting a lot. So we got groceries, we came home, just kind of sat around all day. It kind of felt a little weird. Then about 8 o'clock, We actually decided we were going to start cooking dinner. We had actually gotten like some fish and stuff, which that's what I was craving. So Josh made that. I took a shower, put on some pajamas and stuff, and just kind of laying in bed, watching The Big Bang Theory. Um, my food gets done about 9 o'clock, 9:15. So I'm sitting there watching The Big Bang Theory with Josh, and I think I've actually only taken like a bite or so. And um, I'm like, oh my gosh, my water just broke like all over the bed, and it won't stop. So he's like, oh my gosh, we need to get you to the hospital. So I'm like, well, call my mom, call your parents and things, let them know that my water broke, and because I have to obviously change my clothes because I've busted all over the place. And even changing my clothes, I'm still leaking. I can't stop, and I'm laughing so hard because I can't stop. I'm just like gushing everywhere. Um, we grab all my stuff, and we finally get to the hospital. It's about 10 o'clock. I, of course, check in, and of course, have to get checked again. And I tell them, I think my water broke. I'm pretty sure, like, because it won't stop gushing. I've never had, like, fluid release like this. They do, like, the pelvic exam and everything, and sure enough, my water has broken. I'm, like, at a 2 already. So once your water breaks, they have to admit you. So I actually they wheel me into a delivery room, start my IV and everything. I of course know that it's going to be a pretty long night. It's probably not going to happen until the next day because it's so late, and I'm only like at a 2. Um, so visiting hours are actually over at like 10 or 11. Because my dad and my sister had met me up there, but it was so hectic, like they couldn't stay or anything. So I just told them to come back the next day. So I of course tried to rest, but I was having contractions. I couldn't rest. I was too anxious. So I actually had to start my penicillin. I think at, let's see, what time was that? I want to say like 2 in the morning. I had to start my penicillin. That stuff was terrible. Like, I actually got sick every time I had to take penicillin. I actually threw up all over myself every time. The first time I threw up all in my face and all over the bed, and it was just really bad. But yeah, let's see, I had the IVs in, and the monitor belt on my belly was having problems keeping it down. So they actually had to put I don't know what you call it. It's like a fetal monitor, and it goes under the scalp on the baby's head to monitor activity. So she actually had to have that underneath like the first layer of skin on her scalp um, to monitor her, and I had to have, of course, the catheter, which is no fun. They started my Pitocin about, I don't know, it was early in the morning, probably about 2 or so. 2 or 4, maybe 5. Pitocin is the devil. Pitocin makes your cervix soften and makes you dilate, and your contractions become stronger and stronger. So I would say probably about 10 o'clock in the morning I was having really, really strong contractions, and I was progressing really, really fast. I was like, went from like the 2, and then when they checked me again at like 5 in the morning, I was already at like a 5, 4 or 5. So, of course, started the Pitocin, and I told them I want to go ahead and get my epidural. I'm starting to hurt. I don't tolerate pain very good. So, they were supposed to give me my epidural by noon. I actually ended up waiting like, I don't think I got it until like 1:30 or 2. I was already like, my contractions, I was like at a 6 or 7 dilated. My contractions were like 100 and something. So I was like in a lot of pain. So I actually had to get kind of ugly to get my epidural. I actually finally got it. Um, and it really didn't hurt because I was in so much pain already. But it was amazing because it numbs you from the waist down, so I couldn't feel anything. Yeah. Okay, so I'm back. Anyway, where I left off last time. Um, so I did get the epidural, and it helped. I didn't feel anything for a while, but I was supposed to start pushing at 2, um, and they never came back and checked on me. There was like 4 or 5 other babies being born at the same time. They're all back to back to back. Um, so yeah, I was, anticipating on pushing at 2. Um, Never came back and checked on me, so I sat around and waited. It got till about 4 o'clock, and my um, epidural drip was running out. I hardly had any left. I was starting to get a little scared. Um, so I went ahead and paged them, the nurses, and told them that my medicine's getting low. I'm starting to hurt because I really didn't want to run out of my epidural. So they came in there about 4:30, and I started pushing. It was pretty intense because my epidural was wearing off. I pushed for started. No, let me see. Maybe that was about 3:30 when I called. I started pushing about 4, and I had her at 4:48. So I didn't even push an hour. Pushing was very, very intense. My goal was to just push as hard as I could so I could get her out. So I was just so tired. I had an 18-hour labor and delivery, so it was very, very long, and I was just really, really tired because I couldn't get any sleep. I was hurting too bad and things like that. But yeah, I mean, once she was, the head part was out, the rest was pretty easy. And she, when she came out, she didn't really cry. She kind of scared me at first. But Josh said that she was really alert and she was looking around at everybody. And then when they suctioned her nose out, she started to cry. But yeah, it was really amazing. I'm really glad the hospital that I had her at, they put her on your chest, or they put her on my chest before they cleaned her up. So I got that immediate like skin to skin contact, um, which I really, really liked. I think it really helped because she was crying a little bit, but I was actually able to like soothe her and things like that before they took her weight and everything like that. So it made me feel really good. She's 7.54 pounds and 19 inches long. So she's kind of small, but that's fine. I think she's perfect weight. Um, Definitely, I think she looks like Josh. She looks like me a little bit, like in the cheeks and stuff. I see her like look at me, what looks like me, but like she's got Josh's hair, which I wanted, and I think she's gonna have his eyes too. It's kind of hard to tell because right now they're kind of a bluish gray color, but most babies start off with blue eyes. So there's a good chance they could be brown. She's just pretty. Like her skin tone and everything is really pretty. Um, she's a really good baby. But we did have. She ended up getting jaundice pretty bad, which isn't something that's really, really rare. A lot of babies end up getting jaundice, but like it's so hard, especially when you just had a baby, like to have to go through that. When babies have jaundice, you have to put them under the UV light. Um, so we had to do that. I had her on that Friday. That Friday night, she was in my room pretty much all night except for to give her a bath and check her vitals and things like that. Yeah, that was another good thing. The hospital kept them in the room most of the time, and just let you know where they're at and everything. So that was really, really, that helped me a lot. Um, but yeah, the bilirubin, which is connected to the jaundice. Jaundice, if you don't know what that is babies when they're born, their livers aren't mature um, enough to fight a certain kind of hemoglobin um, that the mother's body filters out in the womb. But when they're born, their livers aren't totally mature enough to do that themselves. It takes a few days, so they can get that level, can get up, and it can make them kind of orange. It's kind of serious if the level gets so high. But yeah, so Saturday we started the UV treatment, and the first time we had to do it for 5 hours. It's total torture. She hated it. She didn't like wearing those little goggle things. Um, she tried to claw at her face. Um, it's pretty torturous, and so Josh and I just sat by her and held her little hand and tried to soothe her. Um, so they did that, and then for 5 hours, and they tested her again to see if it helped. Hadn't gone down, so we had to actually do 10 hours the second time, which is total torture. That was all night, starting at 5 o'clock, right? No, 7 o'clock. Starting at 7 o'clock, we had to go from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. the next morning. So I didn't sleep that whole time because I was so afraid she's going to pull her little glasses down and her eyes are going to be exposed to the UV light. So I sat there and I held her hand, and luckily my mom got her to take a pacifier, so that really helped soothe her. She did a lot better that second time, but I was the one that had a lot of problems with cry and not being able to, like, you could only take them out for like an hour at a time. Like if she was hungry, I could take her out to feed her, but I could only keep her out to feed for like an hour and just kind of snuggle her. It was really, really hard. And then they tested her that next morning, and we had to wait for the pediatrician who's taking care of both of my sisters and stuff. I have a really good pediatrician taking care of her. She didn't pass the second time, so he did let us go home though, because this is like going on Sunday. So I've been there like 3 days. I was ready to go home. They let us go home Sunday about noon, and I had to bring her back Monday, which was actually Memorial Day. Get her tested again. Her levels were supposedly like really, really high. So we had to bring her back the next day, see the pediatrician, and get checked again. So I mean, if you've never had to go through that, they prick the baby's foot every single time. So she hated it. Her foot was really, really bruised, and luckily on the one Tuesday, the person that did the blood work did the other foot. 'Cause her, the foot that they had kept drawing on was so bruised, and she would just scream and scream. Um, so they did it again Tuesday, and her level hadn't rose, which they were also, the pediatrician was telling me he didn't think that the number on Monday was accurate because my breast milk had came in, and something about density of breast milk can kind of throw that off. Because Sunday it was like a 6 something, Monday it's supposedly like a 12 something, so I got up like 6 points supposedly. And then Tuesday it was still a 12 point something. So you would think the way he was telling me was it would gradually go up 6 points, and it wasn't doing that. So he was thinking it was just about to level off, and that the number Monday was just a false number. So I went back on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. She actually passed that time, so thank gosh. It was almost, it was a really long journey. But through that all, I'm breastfeeding, but I'm also supplementing. I don't feel like I'm producing enough to just satisfy her just with breast milk. But it is important. I feel like I want her to get some goodness out of breastfeeding. So I actually had to supplement because I wasn't producing enough to keep her satisfied. And with the jaundice, something about formula, the jaundice, the bilirubin or whatever, clings to that better, helps them pass it faster. So that's why I chose to do formula, and she seems to like it. So I always do try to breastfeed first and then give her a bottle if she still wants some. So I wish I could exclusively breastfeed, but I just don't see it happening. I can't even get like a breast milk storage supply going to keep in the freezer. I am trying to pump and things. but I'm not producing enough to even have a stash in the freezer. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to order bigger breast pump shields, and maybe that'll work. But as of right now, I'm just breastfeeding first, and then I give her a bottle, and she's drinking about 2 to 3 ounces at a time on the bottle. She feeds for about 20 minutes or so. Breastfeeding. So I mean, she is still getting the benefits of breastfeeding, but I really wish that's not all I could do. But that is just not gonna happen, I don't think. Um, but I'll take what I can get. Let's see. She did. Let's see. On Wednesday of last no, Wednesday of last week. Yeah, yeah, Wednesday of last week. Um, she did go to the doctor, like I said, to test her bilirubin. No, actually, that was on Tuesday. They tested her bilirubin on Tuesday. And she also had her first appointment with the pediatrician. And at that appointment, they just kind of check your vitals, and they measure her to see if she's grown. They measure the head, check the weight and things like that. And babies usually lose a little bit of weight after they go home. So she went from 7.54 to 6.15.5, I think. So she lost about 6 ounces, which is normal. And she lost a little bit on her length, but she did pee all over the place. She also had projectile diarrhea all over the place. This was like pretty embarrassing, but yeah, she's a really good baby. We're still trying to get the sleep schedule kind of situated. Um, she sleeps a lot during the day, but nighttime's kind of hard. I think she wants to be held, um, which is really hard not to do because she likes to lay on my chest, and that's just bonding time for both of us. So, yeah, she sleeps a lot during the day, and then nighttime she usually sleeps about 3 hours at a time, and she wants a bottle and stuff, which for me is pretty good. Um, but it's kind of hard to catch up on sleep. Um, try to sleep when she does is really, really hard. So, yeah, she's a really good baby. She's got an attitude. She doesn't like to be wet. She doesn't like to be hungry. She doesn't like to be without clothes. She doesn't like to be cold. Um, we kind of make fun of her because she won't eat if she has a wet diaper on or she's cold. She's really, really picky. So yeah, she's got definitely got a little attitude, but you know, that's kind of expected that. And she's just a good baby. She's really, really good, and um, even when she's mad or whatever, it doesn't take much to satisfy her. Like you can usually figure it out. Getting to where I can kind of understand her different needs and cries and things like that. I'm actually on maternity leave. I go back July 7th. Um, and I actually work at a daycare, so she's going with me. She'll be at work with me, and then I'm actually taking summer classes that start on July 1st. I'll be taking one class, and then in the fall I'll go back like August 18th or so and taking classes there. So at least I know she's in good hands while I'm not at work. Um, but yeah, it just makes it easier to have her there. She's actually still she's wearing size 1 diapers. Um, that lasted about a week or so. And then she started peeing out of her diapers because they weren't covering her butt. um, so we actually went up a size 1. They're a little big, but at least she doesn't leak out. Um, and she's actually still wearing newborn clothes. She's still pretty tiny. She's wearing a lot of onesies and stuff. And I didn't buy a whole lot of newborn clothes because I was convinced I was going to have a 9-pound baby and have a pretty small one. So she's like perfect size though. Let's see what else. I'm actually recovering pretty well. I gained, let's see, I think I gained about 32 pounds when I was pregnant. I've actually lost 29 and a half. So I've only got like 2 or 3 pounds left to go. I'm pretty proud of myself. I actually lost 12 just having her. Like the first day was actually down 12. Um, then I think after about 4 or 5 days, I was actually down like 23 or so. I think that was just from water retention, like bloating and swelling and stuff. I've actually lost all of that extra fluid, and then just not eating as much and drinking a whole lot of water, and I think breastfeeding is really helping too. So I still got a long way to go, but I'm pretty like happy with how my body looks. I feel good and everything. Not I need some work physically, obviously, but body-wise, I'm really happy with how my body's recovering. I just I'm still a little bit sore. Like if I stand on my feet too long, I can definitely feel, it wearing on my body. But I'm getting a lot better. So yeah, I chose to take 6 weeks off. Josh took 6 weeks off too. So it really, really helps us to just kind of get acquainted with family and stuff. Um, she lost her belly button, our little umbilical cord stubs. She now got a belly button. She lost that this morning. Um, pretty much all I can think of. It's pretty much just all just falling into routine and stuff. She sleeps through pretty much anything. Like I can sit here and watch TV and she'll sleep through it. Um, but yeah, in the mornings I just put her in the swing and she'll sleep for about 3 hours, and I can get some cleaning and things like that done. So she's just a really good baby. She's really, really good. We're really, really, really blessed with that. But yeah, she does have an attitude, but nothing that I wouldn't expect. So I don't know how I'm gonna do this because the laptop is what I'm on. Let me see if I can get it to where you can see her in the swing. She's over there in the swing, just swinging away, and she's sleeping. But yeah, that's where she's usually at in the morning. She's actually sleeping in a bassinet next to the bed, and she does pretty good with that. We're just trying to get her on a routine and stuff. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them down below. I'll actually include some pictures since she's asleep. Maybe in a couple of weeks when she starts becoming awake a little bit more and more alert, I can actually kind of hold her and show you guys on camera what she looks like. I don't really want to wake her up right now if she's sleeping so well. So I just let her sleep in the morning, and I feed her on demand when she wakes up about every 3 hours. What the pediatrician told me to do, and I think it works out great because she doesn't overeat and she gets what she needs, but she's also getting sleep too. So if you have any questions, feel free to add them. I will add some pictures at the end. And yeah, she's actually 2 weeks old today, so I'm sorry it took me 2 weeks to get this video up. Things have been really, really hectic, especially with the whole Jaundice bilirubin thing. It's just really taken a lot of time, a lot of hospital visits, and just didn't have time or the energy to make a video. So I hope you guys can forget how I look, but I just wanted to give you guys a little update. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave them, like I said, down below, and I will get back to you. And I'll probably do a video every week. So yeah, I will see y'all later. Bye.